Artificial intelligence is changing what technology can do, but it's also changing what organizations need from their leaders. As AI becomes integrated into business operations, technology leaders are being asked to think beyond systems, software, infrastructure, and technical performance. They're being asked to think about people, risk, trust, governance, business value, communication, and the consequences of decisions involving increasingly powerful technologies. So, what does effective technology leadership look like in the age of artificial intelligence? Welcome to Lesson 6 of the Tech Money Diaries coaching series. I'm Ashley Hughes Jefferson, and today we're exploring technology leadership in the age of AI and why leadership may become even more important as technology becomes more capable. Before we continue, I'd like to share an important educational notice. This course is provided for educational and informational purposes only. The discussions throughout this series reflect publicly available research, professional experience, coursework, and personal perspectives. Nothing presented in this course should be interpreted as individualized legal, financial, investment, tax, employment, career, consulting, cybersecurity, technology, business, or other professional advice. Examples, organizations, products, services, technologies, and platforms discussed throughout this course are presented solely for educational and illustrative purposes and should not be interpreted as endorsements or recommendations unless explicitly stated. Technology, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, business practices, regulations, and workforce trends continue to evolve. Information presented reflects what was available at the time this lesson was created. I encourage you to conduct your own research and consult qualified professionals before making personal, business, financial, career, or organizational decisions. For many years, technology leadership was often associated with managing infrastructure, systems, projects, budgets, teams, and technology operations. Those responsibilities still matter, but artificial intelligence is expanding the conversation. Technology leaders increasingly have to think about questions such as, where should AI be used? What business problem are we trying to solve? What information will the system use? Who should have access? How will employees interact with it? What risks should we consider? Who remains accountable for the outcome? And how will we know whether the technology is actually creating value? Those aren't simply technical questions, they're leadership questions. Through the Technology Foundation's pillar of the T.E.C.H framework, leaders need enough understanding of emerging technologies to participate meaningfully in decisions about them. That doesn't mean every leader needs to become an AI engineer. Leadership doesn't require knowing how to build every technology your organization uses. But leaders should understand enough to ask informed questions. What can this technology realistically do? What are its limitations? Where could errors occur? What information does it depend on? Where is human review necessary? And what happens when the technology doesn't perform as expected? Understanding both capabilities and limitations helps leaders make more thoughtful decisions. This becomes especially important with artificial intelligence because impressive outputs can sometimes create the appearance of certainty. But an answer that sounds confident isn't automatically accurate. An efficient process isn't automatically a responsible process. And a powerful technology isn't automatically the right solution for every business problem. Technology leadership requires judgment. The economic thinking pillar of the T.E.C.H framework reminds us that organizations don't operate with unlimited resources. AI initiatives require investments. There may be software costs, infrastructure costs, training costs, security considerations, governance requirements, implementation time, and the cost of changing existing workflows. This is why leaders should move beyond asking, can we use AI? And begin asking, should we use AI here? What value are we expecting? What problem are we solving? What risks are we accepting? And how will we measure whether this decision was successful? Innovation and business value aren't automatically the same thing. A new technology may be exciting without being necessary. Sometimes the best technology decision is adopting something new. Sometimes it's improving what already exists, and sometimes it's deciding that technology isn't the solution to the problem at all. Strong technology leadership requires understanding that difference. Career and consulting strategy introduces another important dimension. As technology becomes more integrated into organizational strategy, professionals who can communicate between technical and non-technical environments may become increasingly valuable. Someone has to help translate technical capabilities into business language. Someone has to connect organizational goals with technology decisions. Someone has to ask whether a proposed solution actually addresses the problem. And someone has to help teams navigate implementation and change. These responsibilities can appear across many roles: technology leaders, consultants, business analysts, project and program managers, cybersecurity professionals, AI governance professionals, operations leaders, transformation professionals, and professionals whose titles may not include the word technology at all. Leadership isn't limited to the person with the highest title. You can demonstrate leadership by asking thoughtful questions, by communicating clearly, by identifying risk, by helping others understand change, by admitting when you don't know something, and by continuing to learn. Human leadership becomes especially important when artificial intelligence enters the workplace. AI adoption can create excitement, but it can also create uncertainty. Employees may wonder what the technology means for their responsibilities. Managers may be unsure about appropriate use. Teams may worry about privacy, accuracy, security, or job changes. Leaders shouldn't ignore those concerns. They should create space for questions, communicate expectations, explain why changes are being made, provide appropriate training, establish boundaries, and make accountability clear. One of the biggest mistakes organizations can make is assuming that introducing a technology automatically means people will understand how to use it responsibly. Technology implementation and organizational adoption are two different things. You can purchase a platform quickly. Building trust takes longer. And trust becomes especially important when technology influences decisions involving people. That's why responsible leadership requires more than enthusiasm for innovation. It requires asking who could be affected by a decision, what information is being used, what unintended consequences could occur, whether appropriate oversight exists, and who is responsible when something goes wrong. Artificial intelligence doesn't remove accountability from leadership. In many situations, it makes accountability even more important. There's another leadership skill that may become increasingly valuable in the AI era: the ability to say, "I don't know yet." Technology is evolving quickly. No leader will understand every new platform, model, regulation, cybersecurity concern, or emerging use case. Pretending to know everything isn't leadership. Knowing when to ask questions is. Knowing when to bring in expertise is. Knowing when more research is needed is. And knowing when to slow down before making a decision can be just as important as knowing when to move quickly. The goal isn't to become the person with every answer. The goal is to become someone capable of guiding better decisions. That brings us back to one of the central ideas of this entire coaching series. Technology is bigger than technology. Artificial intelligence affects business strategy. Cybersecurity affects trust. Digital transformation affects people and processes. Workforce trends affect careers. Consulting requires understanding problems. And leadership connects all of these conversations. The leaders who navigate technological change effectively won't necessarily be the people who know the most technical terminology. They may be the people who can combine technological understanding with business judgment, communication, ethics, curiosity, and responsibility. That's technology leadership in the age of AI. If today's lesson has encouraged you to think more deeply about technology leadership, artificial intelligence, consulting, and organizational strategy, I invite you to continue your learning inside Consult Academy. This lesson connects naturally with the AIM Development Program. The AIM Development Program explores technology, artificial intelligence, leadership, and consulting through structured educational development, certification, and portfolio building opportunities. It's designed for professionals who want to continue developing their knowledge across these interconnected areas while building practical professional capabilities. You can explore the AIM Development Program and other educational pathways by visiting consultacademyhub.lovable.app. Transparency notice: Consult Academy is owned and operated by Ashley Hughes Jefferson Consulting LLC, the creator of the Tech Money Diaries coaching series. References to Consult Academy are included because it serves as the official companion learning platform for this educational series. Skillshift Starter Access includes free educational resources, additional educational programs, consulting tools, AI governance systems, and premium learning pathways are available through optional paid memberships and one-time purchases. Please review the platform for current features, pricing, trial information, and subscription terms before enrolling. Before we finish today's lesson, I'd like to leave you with a question. If artificial intelligence can increasingly perform tasks that once required people, what qualities do you believe will distinguish effective leaders in the future? Technical expertise, communication, judgment, adaptability, ethics, or something else? Share your perspective in the comments. In our next lesson, we'll take this conversation one step further. We'll explore AI governance, responsible innovation, and trust. Because as organizations become capable of doing more with artificial intelligence, another question becomes increasingly important. Just because technology can do something, does that mean an organization should do it? We'll explore how governance can help organizations think about responsibility, oversight, risk, accountability, and trust when using artificial intelligence. Thank you for joining me for Lesson 6 of the Tech Money Diaries coaching series. If you found today's discussion valuable, subscribe to Tech Money Diaries and continue with Lesson 7. And if you'd like to continue developing your knowledge beyond this course, explore the AIM Development Program and additional learning pathways inside Consult Academy at consultacademyhub.lovable.app. I'm Ashley Hughes Jefferson. This is Tech Money Diaries. Real tech, real money, real life. Until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next lesson.